And we are live. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. This is our first live stream of the year 2021, and we are off to an amazing start. The crypto markets are on absolute fire. Bitcoin is pumping, Ethereum is pumping, Aave, Synthetics, Chainlink, Polkadot, you name it. And the gift that just keeps giving, the shitcoin that just keeps giving, the piece of garbage that keeps giving, which is Ripple. Now, as it's been announced that Grayscale will be removing XRP from its digital large cap fund. Now, what's so funny about this is that you have so many people in the Ripple community, many of the influencers, many of the big names, the promoters in the community, and every week they keep telling you something different as to why you should hold Ripple. Last week, they were saying, how could it be a security if Grayscale would hold it in its fund? Well, they just announced today that they no longer hold it in their fund, that they actually dumped it out of their fund, and that they converted it into I think it was like 1.6%. They converted it into Bitcoin and Ethereum. So they dumped XRP for Bitcoin and for Ethereum. At a certain point, you have to sit back and say to yourself, I'm in the right place at the right time, and I'm losing money. That's because you're doing something foolish. You are being emotional with your investment. I have for years been sitting up here and screaming to the high heavens that Ripple is useless. Now, we just got an announcement yesterday that the OCC will allow banks to use stablecoins. So why do you need Ripple? We're going to get into the article. Again, banks now have the proper regulatory framework to be able to utilize blockchain technology and use stablecoins for payments. So again, why do you need XRP? Think about this for a second, because I'm going to really pound this into your head today. They're telling you that Ripple is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, that you need to hold on to it. But the CEO, Brad Garlinghouse, he doesn't feel the same way. He's dumped billions of XRP tokens onto the marketplace. Why would he sell something that they're telling you to hold on to? See, again, 1 + 1 will always equal 2, because it's simplicity, it's unique, it's a universal language. If I'm going to promote something to the community that you need to hodl, why would I then sell it? See, at the end of the day, it's common sense. They're telling you, you hodl. But then the CEO is dumping. The executives are dumping. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. You are in the right place at the right time. Why? Why would you want to sit up here and not be able to take advantage of this opportunity? It's only a matter of time. Like when I sit up here and I look at this, before one of my favorite cryptocurrencies, Polkadot, flips Ripple. We're about $1 billion away. $1 billion away from flipping Ripple. Litecoin flipped Ripple. USDT flipped Ripple. It's only a matter of time before Polkadot flips Ripple. I have been on this channel, and I've been telling you, any fork of Bitcoin is garbage. Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, Bitcoin Diamond, Bitcoin Gold, you name it. They're no longer in the top 10. I told you, Bitcoin Cash doesn't belong in the top 10. Litecoin doesn't belong in the top 10. BNB, XLM, you name it, none of them belong in the top 10. And we see DeFi on absolute fire, because at a certain point, you have to be able to execute on what you're telling people your project could do. They sold Ripple to you as that the banks were going to use it. Then we came to find out, and it's been brought to light, that they were paying the banks for these partnerships. Think about this. If this technology was so revolutionary, and the banks were basically getting paid to use it. Why didn't they start adopting it at a mass scale? Does that make any sense? Well, then they said, well, we need it for, we're going to go after the money transmitters. MoneyGram came out and said, we wasn't really using Ripple like that, not the ODL product. We were just using it for quick payments. Right? So you have to, at a certain point, you have to just see it for, you have to see the game for what it is. And this is why I created my channel when I named my channel, What Happened to Common Sense? Because so many of you lack one of the most universal and important skill sets for any investor, for just any adult. You need common sense. You need to be able to use your common sense. All of these people, these YouTube influencers that you see, these people, they have been paid to promote these cryptocurrency projects to you. And they want you to hold so that they can finish dumping on top of your head. It's not complicated at all. It's literally in your face. Now, when you look at this chart here, this tells you all you need to know. This is Ripple against Bitcoin. It is down over 90%. You are down 90% versus Bitcoin. If you price Ripple and Bitcoin, you're down 90%. How? How can you come up here with a straight face and say anything negative about Bitcoin? You are down 90% versus Bitcoin. You are getting destroyed. You are holding a fallen knife. Think about that. You are trying to catch a fallen knife. And yet the XRP tards, the Ripple tards, they're coming here and telling me, I don't know what I'm talking about. I do know what I'm talking about. Price is the arbiter of truth. I'm winning this argument. You said the use case for Ripple was that it was close to regulators. Well, now it's being regulated and it's dumping. Now you think of this, look at this chart. How could you with a straight face try to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about? You are down over 90% versus Bitcoin. You are getting destroyed. You are getting decimated. While everything is absolutely blowing out every other cryptocurrency right now is just pumping. And yet your cryptocurrency is dumping. And you're still buying the dip after it keeps dipping and dipping and dipping and dipping. And every week you have these influencers constantly changing and moving the goalposts. So the beautiful thing is that you have channels like this where we stick to the facts, we stick to the information. We don't come on here trying to sell you, some fantastical, magical idea that Ripple is going to become the world reserve currency. It's not. It'll never happen. So please do me a favor as you come into the live stream. Please like this video, share this video, subscribe. Make sure that you hit the notification bell. Make sure that you set the notifications to all so that you receive every single notification when I go live. In the description below, there is a link to my mailing list. Please click the link, enter in your email address so that you could be notified via email when I'm going live, just in case YouTube doesn't send out the live notifications. Also, follow me on Instagram. A link to my Instagram page is in the description below as well. You can shoot me a DM and we can begin the dialogue. If you are someone that's new and you want to learn about this technology, how to invest, how to make sound investments, what's good, what's not good, how the technology works, I created My Tech Academy. We have a free 7-day trial. You are free to come and test it out for 7 days. It will cost you absolutely nothing. Do not try to fly blind in this industry. Trust me, Ripple isn't the only piece of garbage out here. And as this market begins to take off, you're going to have a lot of people trying to sell you on the idea of the next Bitcoin. Get educated so you can understand what's going on and join a community of people who are actually going to focus on teaching you how to invest in the technology, how to actually build and develop the technology, and really from the standpoint of even looking for employment in this space is what we're going to be focused on. We are going through the 4th Industrial Revolution, and this technology will be at the center of what's going on. So I will greatly, hope that you would take me up on this offer so that you do not end up being like many of these Ripple tards and sitting here and you're down 90% versus BTC. Also, if you want to talk about business, you can book a consultation with me. And then you and I, we can begin the dialogue in terms of investing or different business ventures. We also have a coding bootcamp going on inside of the academy. Right now, we're focusing on JavaScript, the basics. Then we're going to move to React.js, and then we're going to get into Solidity, which is the programming language for building dApps and decentralized applications inside on top of the Ethereum blockchain. So if you can see me and hear me clearly, simply just type 1 in the chat and we can get started. Right? The ones are coming in. So let's just do a quick internal. Let's check the market. As I said before, when you look at Ripple, this is Ripple versus Bitcoin. You are down 90%. Let's think about that. You are getting destroyed. Yet you have people still telling you somehow that Bitcoin uses too much electricity. Proof of work doesn't work. It's working right now. It's dominating your shitcoin. Right? It's pretty obvious that it's working right now. This is the price of Ripple right now. We can see that it's forming this base pattern. Like this bear flag looks like it's going to eventually break this bear flag to the downside. As I told you guys back here, this was short covering. Once I saw this happen and we had this sharp retracement, this was just a shorts covering. And then boom, we had this next impulse wave down. They were telling you, see, look, buy the dip. And then it started dipping again, right? So we can see what's happening here. Bitcoin's on an absolute tear. Looks like we're about to hit another all-time high right now during this live stream. We're racing towards $35,000. It is an amazing time right now to be involved. On this channel, I've been telling you about Bitcoin since it was at $3,000 a coin. Since it was at $3,000 per coin, I've been telling you about that. And I don't sit up here because this is financial advice. I sit up here and tell you the party has just gotten started. You are at the right place at the right time. Many of you are going to go on to become millionaires. Some of you are going to go on and start and build your own cryptocurrencies, and you're going to create your own exchanges. You're going to create your own products and infrastructure, and you're going to get rich beyond your wildest dreams. And then for some of you, because you listen to the wrong people, you're going to be at the right place at the right time, watch this wealth transfer happen, and you're going to hold your bag of XLM. You're going to hold your bag of XRP all the way to the end. And you deserve to lose every single dollar that you put in a Ripple because you knew better. You were in the right place at the right time, but you listened to the wrong people. Ethereum right now is on absolute fire. I was telling you guys back here, right back in here, go back and watch the videos. When it was trading at 600, when it was trading at 700, I was telling you, just compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum just made more sense to me to put money in at that time because we were nowhere near its all-time high. And when you understand that Ethereum is trying to be that gravity well for assets, it made sense to you to be allocating money towards Ethereum if you missed out on Bitcoin. And for those of you who took me up on that offer, look at this. We blew past 700, rocketed all the way up to 1100, well on our way to $1,200. It's just an amazing time. And next, it's going to be time for, Ethereum to kick off and hit its all-time high, which is up there at 1400. Now, understand, Ethereum is going to usher in altcoin season. And we already see synthetics. We see Aave taking off. We see Loopbrain taking off. DeFi is something real. It's very, very important. We have the Optimism mainnet now running and launching on, I believe, January 15th. Some exciting things is happening in crypto. And you need to make sure that you are listening to the right people. Now, when we sit here and we pull this up, it says Grayscale removes XRP from its digital large cap fund. Now, for weeks now, you have people saying, look, Grayscale, they went out and they purchased more. They bought more. Oh, well, today they sold that. Crypto asset manager Grayscale has removed XRP from its digital large cap fund. Announcing the news on Tuesday, Grayscale said it sold all XRP from the fund on Monday and bought more of Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. XRP was approximately 1.4 0.46% of the fund. Let me repeat that for you. Announcing the news on Tuesday, Grayscale said it sold all XRP from the fund on Monday and bought more Bitcoin, Ether, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. XRP was approximately 1.46% of the fund. Grayscale did not mention the recent lawsuit filed against Ripple by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission as a reason for removing XRP from the fund, but said Genesis Global Trading, the fund's authorized participant, is suspending XRP trading on January 15th, so it had to remove the asset. It is not clear whether Grayscale's other XRP product, Grayscale XRP Trust, would face similar action. The block has reached out to the firm and will update this story should we hear back. What am I missing? What am I missing? Now, 2 weeks ago, they were saying, well, Coinbase could list securities. That ended up not being true. Every single week, do you notice that these people, they keep moving the goalposts? Do you hold any of these influencers accountable? Does anyone's word matter anymore? Or does it just matter about your bags pumping? Right? Think about this. At a certain point, when you have all of these influencers on YouTube making 3 or 4 videos every day about why Ripple's going to pump, and yet Grayscale comes out and makes this announcement. I told you that the exchanges were going to delist it. There's no way Coinbase is going to risk their IPO that's coming up. Why do you listen to these people? You are down over 90% versus Bitcoin. Why do you keep listening to these individuals? At a certain point, you have to just say, these people are wrong, or they just don't know what they're talking about. This is not complicated. Then, right on cue, U.S. regulator says banks can use stablecoins, connect to blockchains. What have I been saying on this channel right now? Ripple is about quick, cheap, cross-border payments, right? You can use stablecoins for that. The OCC just came out and made this announcement and gave regulatory guidance and framework for this. Right here. Right here in your face. Think about this. Cryptocurrency prices briefly popped late Monday after a federal banking regulator said in an interpretive letter that U.S. financial institutions are allowed to use stablecoins for payment activities and can participate as nodes in a blockchain. The letter from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency is the latest crypto-friendly move from the Treasury Department office. Our letter removes any legal uncertainty about the authority of banks to connect to blockchains as validator nodes and thereby transact stablecoin payments on behalf of customers who are increasingly demanding the speed, efficiency, interoperability, and low cost associated with these products. Acting Comptroller of the Currency, Brian Brooks, said in a statement, the move essentially puts blockchain networks on an equal level as global financial networks such as SWIFT, ACH, FedWire. Why do you need Ripple? You have the regulatory framework in place now. Banks could use stable coins. Why do you need Ripple? See, at a certain point, you just have to use your brain. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be a cryptographer. You don't have to go out here and be a programmer or a coder to be able to put 1 + 1 together and say it simply equals 2. Every single week, from the executive team to the influencers, they're moving the goalposts further and further and further along. And every time they move the goalposts, you lose money. Thank you for the donation, Fantasy Hustler. It says, he said, wow, 90% and they still don't listen. And it's gone. It's all gone. Absolutely. It is absolutely all gone. And you deserve to lose every single dollar that you're putting into these garbage coins because you have channels like this. I have integrity. I don't sit up here. I don't sell you sushi. I don't sell you yam. I don't sell you pickle finance. I'm not on this channel every single week telling you about the next cryptocurrency that's going to 100x and make you rich. I'm not on here talking about Lambos. I talk about the technology. What do I focus on inside of my tech academy? Really teaching you how to play with and use the technology. Next, we're going to get into building things inside of my tech academy. For those of you who may want to seek employment in this industry, what we don't do is we don't sit up here and tell you, keep buying the dip. We don't do that in my tech academy. I've been telling you about Polkadot before Polkadot even officially launched. I was telling you about Polkadot. Go back and just check the records. And I guarantee you, within the next week or two, Polkadot will flip Ripple. It's less than $1 billion away right now. Polkadot is 6, Ripple is 5. Because see, what's going to start to happen, and we're going to cover this towards the end of the video. As DeFi starts to heat up like it's doing now, the gas fees are going to start to spike. And people are going to start looking for layer 2 solutions. And then people are going to start looking at the power of Polkadot, the power of Cosmos, the power of Matic. 3 cryptocurrencies that I've been telling you about on this channel that are absolutely on fire. I've been telling you guys about Loopring and ZK rollups. Absolutely powerful stuff. It's happening right before your very eyes. Right? Same thing with Chainlink. Chainlink, I believe, will outperform Ethereum. Happening right before your very eyes. Right? Pay attention to what's going on. Now, you hear a lot of people in the XRP community saying, well, outside of the United States, everyone else is saying Ripple's not a security. Understand that if you cannot do business with U.S. companies and U.S. customers, you are at an extremely competitive disadvantage, right? Just to think about that, you can't do business with U.S. companies and customers as a money transmitter, and somehow you're going to be competitive. You're lying to yourself. But again, the Ripple charge don't listen. Adam shared this, and I totally agree with everything that he posted here. A lot of pro XRP voices are acting like it's no big deal if Ripple is only cut off from U.S. markets. But XRP's main target use case was remittances. The U.S. is 33% of global outbound remittance, and 70% of counterparty settlement agents are U.S. companies. In other words, it's almost impossible to have a remittance market without the United States. And then you still need to compete with TransferWise, WorldRemit, which is Stripe, Coins PH, Abra, Stellar, and Dwolla for the remaining market share, while at a counterparty disadvantage. Since remittance markets work by making money on the arbitrage between 2 currencies, you need the best settlement bid liquidity. That's mostly done by U.S. merchant banks. If U.S. companies can't deal with you, your bids get worse and you're more expensive than competitors. Outside of remittance, XRP was supposed to also do bank settlement, but JP Morgan's private JP Morgan coin is US compliant and has 300 banks onboarded, pushing Ripple back into the settlement market, which needs the US. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. Please get rid of the denial. A lot of you are in denial, and you need to stop. You need to just stop lying to yourself. You're down over 90% versus Bitcoin. It is almost all gone. The South Park video that I always play time and time again, it's gone. And yet you sit there and you keep buying the dip, buying the dip, buying the dip. You're buying the dip while look, Larson and Garlinghouse sales of XRP. It's in the SEC complaint. Everyone in the community knew that the Ripple CEOs and executives were dumping on your head. They're telling you to hodl, that this is going to be the reserve currency of the world. Then why would the CEO keep dumping on your head? Right? It says, at all relevant times, Larson was either the CEO or chairman of the board of directors of Ripple and thus part of the control group of XRP's issuer. While CEO, Larson had the power to appoint 6 out of 8 seats on Ripple's board of directors and, as Ripple's largest equity shareholder, had 68% of its voting power. The following sales of XRP took place with Larson working in coordination with Ripple to develop and maintain a liquid market for XRP, which defendants could monetize their holdings. Email between Larson and the market maker from at least 2017 through at least 2019 showed, like Ripple and Garlinghouse, Larson attempted to strike a delicate balance between maximizing profits from his XRP sales while not depressing the price of XRP. Think about that. It's in the emails, allegedly. This is what the complaint is saying, that Larson wanted to strike a balance to keep the market high enough so that he could keep dumping. Larson at times paid the market maker to make offers and sales of his XRP on digital asset trading platforms with worldwide operations and customers. Larson offered and sold his XRP to investors all over the world, including in the United States, without marketing or restricting offers or sales to persons who had a use for XRP and without restricting purchasers from reselling their XRP to other investors, including to investors in the United States or elsewhere. Larson and his wife netted approximately $450 million from these sales. Larson and his wife netted approximately $450 million from these sales. So while XRP is crashing on your head, while it's dumping on your head, allegedly, Larson and his wife are cashing out on you. Right? Think about this. Think about this. It's in the complaint. So now you have the SEC complaint alleging this. You're looking at the price of XRP versus Bitcoin down 90%, but they're telling you buy the dip. Look at the trolls in the chat. Look at the trolls in the chat. Listen to what they're saying. Listen to the things they're saying right here. They're not making any logical arguments whatsoever. But don't worry, Ripple is the gift that keeps giving, because now a Ripple investor sues to force stock redemption on the SEC claim. So now the investors in the actual Ripple Labs company, because they love to come on and say, you just don't understand. You have XRP the token and you have Ripple Labs the company. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. We know that. That's common sense. But now the investors in the actual company, they're trying to sue the company now. So put this in the chat for you guys when you get a chance. Go look at this and read this, right? This is laughable at this point. It's laughable. It's laughable. Let's read a little bit of this. It says Ripple Labs Inc., whose XRP token is the world's third largest cryptocurrency, was sued by a UK investment company after the US Securities and Exchange Commission claimed the virtual tokens were sold improperly. Follow me here. Tetragon Financial Group Limited, with total assets of $2.3 billion, filed the complaint under seal Monday night in Delaware Chancery Court. In concurrent filings that are public, the investment company said it seeks to enforce its contractual right to require Ripple to redeem Series C preferred stock held by Tetragon and block Ripple from using any cash or other liquid assets until the payment is made. Tetragon also asked the court for a temporary restraining order, a preliminary injunction, and an expedited trial. Its briefs in support of the request also are sealed. Ripple said the Tetragon lawsuit has no merit because there's been no determination that XRP is an unregistered security. As the SEC claims, under provisions of its investment agreement, Tetragon can redeem its Ripple equity if XRP is deemed to be a security or go forward basis, Ripple said in a statement on its website. We are disappointed that Tetragon is seeking to unfairly take advantage of the lack of regulatory clarity here in the US. Ripple said the courts will provide this clarity and we are very confident in our position. Now I want you to understand this because I've been asking this question myself. What happens to the company if Ripple is deemed a security? Think about this now, right? Because we know the token is useless without the company. We know that MoneyGram basically came out and said they're not using any of the products, right? So this idea that the ledger can just live on its own, right? You needed the CEO to go out here and pump it, right? Because if the ledger could live on its own, then people would be building technology around it. The same way that you see people building on DeFi, the same way you see people building on top of Ethereum, like Hayden Adams with Uniswap. Do you see that happening with Ripple? Think about it for a second, right? The whole idea of decentralization is that it's open and anyone can build on it, that anyone can adopt it. So why aren't the banks and other companies and entities building around the XRP token? If the ledger was so powerful, if the token was so powerful, why is no one else building around it but Ripple Labs? Right? You have to use your brain at a certain point. Now, what I'm saying here is that will other investors in the Ripple Labs company come out and be able to hold some type of litigation against the company if in the event that XRP becomes a security and they didn't know at the time of investing, right? These things matter, right? These things are important once you understand this. And again, as I said before, here we have now, right? Banks can use stablecoins now. US regulator says banks can use stablecoins to connect the blockchains. Why do you need Ripple? Quick, cheap, cross-border payments, you could do that all day long with a stablecoin. Here we go. Right? So it's beautiful to sit back here and just watch this happen. Now let's transition a little bit. We don't have to sit here and beat down Ripple all day long. I mean, it's in the documentation right here, right? Like it's here. This is not complicated. The CEO, they're telling you to hodl while the CEO is dumping on your head. It's just illogical. It makes no sense to me, right? Like any person in this chat cannot sit up here and tell me and tell me that this makes sense. Like, think about this. Just, I want you to type 1 in the chat if you would believe in a product that the CEO is telling you to hold while he's dumping it on you. Would you believe it? Type 1 if you believe that. If you believe that that's a good investment to hold something while the CEO and his wife are netting $450 million. Type 1 in the chat if you think it's a good idea. I want to see how many intelligent people we have. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Research everything. I will not move on to other things. I will not move on to other things. Thank you for the donation, TD Hip Hop. He said, forget the XRP dip. I got $5 on Altcoin for you, Eli. Listen, man, that Altcoin is going to turn to an A0. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Good one, Stellar. That conspiracy. Ripple is filled with so many employees connected to Trump, and Trump was going to usher in a Ripple standard, the XRP standard. That didn't happen. And then right on cue, let's transition now. JP Morgan says Bitcoin could surge to $146,000 in the long term. Think about this now. This is another one. Excuse me. Remember Jamie Dimon when he came out and he said Bitcoin is a fraud back in 2015, 2017? Now JP Morgan's coming out and saying, oh, Bitcoin could hit $146,000. I share these articles with you and these videos with you because it's important for us to keep track of the score. We cannot just allow people to just say things and not hold them accountable, and then now just let them just come into the industry. Because crypto, up until this point, has mainly been a retail phenomenon. This is the first time that you and I, the small guy, we actually got a chance to beat the big boys. And for years, they threw FUD and they told us that this was a scam and that it was used for criminal activity, when we know the US dollar is mainly used for criminal activity. But now here we are. Now they're coming out and saying, oh, yeah, Bitcoin can surge to $146,000, right? So now what I want to do is I want to actually play, some of these clips. And I want you to look at this. This picture right here, this is art that right now, Crypto Graffiti, and he posted Bitcoin, when Jamie Dimon called it a terrible store of value, was accumulating at $870 US. So when he was saying that Bitcoin is a terrible store of value, it was trading at $870 US. At the time of posting this, Bitcoin is trading at $32,700. Think about how much wealth you would have missed out on listening to Jamie Dimon. He calls it a fraud, terrible store of value. It's trading at $870. Today it's trading at over $32,000. Almost about to hit 35 as we speak. This is laughable at this point. So let's look at some of the clips and listen to some of the things that he had to say.
So we had this whole discussion today about Bitcoins and digital currencies and so on. How do you see when there becomes a shadow system where you have, like you said before, and I totally agree with your assessment, that the governments would try to stop the currency being a Bitcoin currency, but be a technology. But there would be entrepreneurs who would kind of run a shadow economy system based on Bitcoin. So how would you see that play out?
It's just not going to happen. I mean, you're wasting your time.
So you think they're going
to... When the DOJ calls someone up and says that's an illegal currency and it's against the laws of the United States of land, if you do it again, we'll put you in jail, it's over.
So you really
there's no issue. There will be, and this is my personal opinion, there will be no real non-controlled currency in the world. There's no government that's going to put up with it for long. It's kind of cute now. A lot of the senators in Congress will say, I support Silicon Valley innovation. There will be no currency that gets around government controls.
Anybody here want to take an opposite view?
The technology will be used. It may even be used to transport currency, but it will be U.S. dollars.
But digital,
right.
but the right digital currency will be stopped.
Yes, a virtual currency where it's called a Bitcoin as opposed to a U.S. dollar. These things may be very well for cheap transfers of money. Yeah.
Why is Bitcoin a fraud?
Yeah, so separate blockchain, which is a technology, from Bitcoin, the currency. And now there are multiple currencies, and so I'm talking about not Bitcoin per se, I'm talking about currencies. The first, and the reason, and I'm not saying go short, because I know Jim Chanos was up there. Bitcoin can sell $100,000 of Bitcoin before it goes down. So this is not advice on what you do. My daughter bought some Bitcoin and it went up, and she thinks she's a genius now. But it's I did refer to it as like the tulip bulb crisis of the 1700s, whatever. But here's the reason: governments, the first thing they do is form a currency. They like to control the currency. They control it through a central bank. They also like to know who has it, where it is, where it's going. Okay, and you just saw China just is closing down the Bitcoin exchanges. And all I ever said is that at Bitcoin, the bigger these things get, the more governments right now they look at it as a novelty. They love in Washington talk about, this is technology, we love technology. Wait until someone gets hurt. Wait until it's used for illicit purposes, which it is somewhat used for illicit purposes. They close it down. And that's my point. So it's not, you can argue and I also said there's a good reason for it. If you're in Venezuela or Ecuador or North Korea, you're better off probably using Bitcoin than using their currency. That can't possibly be true in the United States, unless you're speculating. And that isn't a reason to say something has value, because other people are going to speculate. That's tulip. And that's what.
So, I mean, just isn't it funny? 5 years ago, 3 years ago, he was out here saying these things. And then we see articles like this. JP Morgan says Bitcoin could surge to $146,000 in the long term. Again, I like to just show stuff like this to show you that even the pros, the experts, they get it wrong because they don't understand the technology. To sit up here somehow and just say, oh, well, the blockchain is what's going to be utilized. Understand that when you look at what it compromises a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, it is a combination of technologies. It's not just a blockchain. Blockchains have existed for decades now. It's the cryptography. It's the public key, private key cryptography. It's ECDSA. It is hash functions. It's the proof of work, right? All of those things Satoshi was able to blend together to solve the double spending problem. It's not as if like these technologies are new. It's just that the way that they were blended together to solve the double spending problem is what is unique. So when you hear people trying to sell you blockchain, but not cryptocurrency, that's a person who's trying to sell you shit like Ripple. Right? Whenever you hear a person say, oh, I believe in a blockchain, but I don't believe in cryptocurrency, they're trying to sell you garbage like Ripple. They're trying to sell you garbage like Ripple. That's what they're trying to do. Now understand, Bitcoin, the way that the game theory is built into Bitcoin, Bitcoin is designed to be harder money than gold, right? Because Bitcoin has a capped and fixed issuance. And when you understand the way that the halvening works, and every 210,000 blocks, the block subsidy gets cut in half, then you start to understand there's a stair-step fashion down, right? Bitcoin gets deflationary as it goes, right? The new amount of Bitcoin, the Coinbase subsidy, gets reduced in half every time the halvening happens. With gold, you have to understand that there's about 3% to 5% of gold that flows out of the ground every single year, right? So gold does have inflation. It's just a very small amount of inflation. And one of the biggest problems with gold is that there is no fixed supply of gold or like a fixed cap. So therefore you can have a large discovery. Therefore you can't control how much gold will eventually come into circulation. And then with more technology, as technology gets better, you can eventually find more gold. Like they found a large deposit of gold deep in the mountains of Siberia. So when you start understanding this, that Bitcoin's harder money than gold, then you begin to start to understand why Bitcoin is so valuable and why it will be a better store of value than gold. And then when you understand the functionality of Bitcoin in terms of being able to make it peer-to-peer, in terms of not having to lug around a bunch of silver bars or gold bars like this, could you imagine trying to flee your country or get out of the country with 100 ounces of this or 100 ounces of silver? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, I own gold, I own silver, but I understand crypto makes more sense just for the standpoint of that it's digital, right? Something being physical isn't a feature, it's a bug. Something being physical is a disability. It's not a pro, it's a con. We live in a digital world now. And the problem with gold is because it's so heavy, because it's so clunky, you will always have to depend on a third party to hold it for you, which then will lead to more centralization. Right? So now when you start understanding these things, it's laughable when you see people like Jamie Dimon come out and make these statements. Research everything says, you're still my man, fams. XRP is house money. See, I just want you to understand people like research everything. I want you to understand how disrespectful what you are saying is, not to me, but to the thousands of people that's holding Ripple right now. Right? I want you to think about the fact that Ripple right now, compared to Bitcoin, is down over 90%. So let's say that you're one of the lucky people and you were able to grab Ripple at 5 cents, or you grabbed it at a sub penny. That's good for you. Most people are not in the same position that you're in right now. Most people are underwater, and most people had the chance to go out and buy Bitcoin, to buy Ethereum, to buy Polkadot, to buy Chainlink, to buy Aave, and they're getting destroyed. And there's people like you, and again, thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. There are people like you who's out here telling them just buy the dip. Everything's going to be okay. And they're getting slaughtered versus Bitcoin. They're losing wealth. They're in the right place at the right time and they're getting decimated. It's not funny. I come across people, not everyone has $200 in Ripple. Again, when you make those type of statements, it goes to show you how insensitive you are to the fact that some people have $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 in Ripple. And they believed in the things that people were selling them. A lot of these big influencers sold them that Ripple was going to be the reserve currency of the world, that the banks were going to adopt it, that money transmitters were using it. And then now we come out and we find out with the SEC complaint that's not true. Now, yes, as an investor, you have to take responsibility too. You should have been out here doing your own due diligence. But look at this chart. This is disgusting here. This isn't a laughing matter. A lot of people are going to lose their wealth. A wealth transfer is happening and they're going to lose their wealth. But Brad Garlinghouse, he was able to get rich. Him, his wife, the guy David Schwartz, I believe his name is, they're going to get rich. So, you know, you have to sit back here at a certain point and have a conscience, you know, and have some empathy for people that, you know, a lot of people, they listened and believed into some of the garbage that, you know, these influencers were selling them. They told them, oh, Coinbase can list securities. That's not true. Oh, you don't need the United States. That's not true. Oh, Ripple is a security. The SEC is not going to do anything. Now they're doing something. You know, so listen, at a certain point, you have to look at things for what they are, man. And just look at things and see it for what it is. So I just, you know, I vehemently disagree with what you're saying, that this is not just like, oh, well, you know, I'm sitting pretty. Most people are underwater in Ripple deep, like they're severely underwater. And when you compare it to Bitcoin, they're just getting decimated. So now look at this person say Ripple is in trouble, not XRP. Okay. Woo! God bless you. Another thing I want to get into is trading right here, right? This is eToro. It says Monero is killing me. Should have put that money into ETH. I mentioned that before. I like Monero. It's one of my favorite cryptocurrencies, but I don't like Monero for the standpoint of trying to make gains. I like Monero for the privacy features that Monero gives me. I use Monero is one of my favorite cryptocurrencies because Monero, in my opinion, is better than Bitcoin in terms of speed, in terms of, you know, scalability, in terms of privacy. But I don't look at Monero as a store of value. I look at Monero as more of a currency that I want to transact with when I don't want people monitoring and seeing what I'm doing. But again, long term, I just believe that the Ethereum ecosystem is going to be powerful. And when you start understanding DeFi has real utility, real world use case, it makes more sense to be focused on DeFi. And that's why I've been telling you guys about Aave, synthetics. I've been talking to you guys about Loopring. I've been talking to you guys about on this channel, Chainlink, Polkadot, etc. The DeFi space just makes more sense to me right now. And in terms of what it's going to disrupt, it's going to disrupt the $50-60 trillion industry when you think about the financial services industry. So it just has more room to go. Right? Now, what I want you to understand, a lot of you want to get into trading and you have sites like eToro. Right here, if you go to their risk disclaimer, it says to you, CFDs are complex instruments and come with a high risk of losing money rapidly due to leverage. 76% of retail investor accounts lose money when trading CFDs with this provider. You should consider whether you understand how CFDs work and whether you can afford to take the high risk of losing your money. I'm not here to discourage you. I'm not here to try to put you down. Trading is extremely hard. Trading is the easiest, hardest money to make. You will spend hours upon hours in front of your screen, drawing lines on a chart, just to turn around and blow 2 or 3 accounts. Think about this. Just round it up and say 8 out of 10 traders lose money. 8 out of 10 traders basically lose money. it makes more sense to dollar cost average, buy a small amount over time or a decent sized amount over time and hold. Because most of you don't have the emotional intelligence nor the technical capabilities to properly be able to trade. And you're going to start to see a lot of these brokerage pop up where they want you to trade your crypto, digital currencies at your fingertips. I'm just here to tell you, you'll make more money by buying and holding. You'll sleep better at night by buying and holding. Right? You'll sleep much better. Now, I have my Tech Academy. I'll give you a proposal. Rather than trying to trade, be a hand trader, why not learn how to program and build a bot? At least once you blow your account, you'll have a skill, right? Because you can't put on a resume, I'm an amazing chart reader. I'm so amazing at reading charts and drawing lines that I lost all my money in 90 days. That's not something that you'll put on a resume. But at least if you learn Python, if you learn some type of a programming language, you could build a bot, still lose your money, but now you have a skill that when you need to go get a job, you could go get you a decent job. We have a coding boot camp going on at My Tech Academy. I really, really strongly believe that you should really learn to build bots and let the bots trade for you. The reason why is that a bot isn't emotional. It's not a human, right? Bots, they operate based upon logic. And if you know how to build you a decent bot, the bot will execute based upon the parameters that you give it. And this is why high frequency trading is so profitable, or just algorithmic trading in general is profitable, because machines just execute. They don't think. They don't get emotional. They understand that trading is a numbers game. Because just by default, trading, you have a 50-50 chance on every trade that you take, because a stock, a commodity, a cryptocurrency, it only can do one of two things. It either can go up or it can go down. So if you took a coin and you flipped it, most likely you're going to be a 50% trader, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a little bit lower, right? And we're talking about the frequency of trades. It's the same thing of flipping a coin. If you flipped a coin 10 times, you wrote down, one for heads, one for tails, you're probably the first 10 flips, you might get 7 heads and 3 tails. But over 1,000 flips, or over 100,000 flips, you're going to get closer and closer and closer to a 50-50 probability. And that's the same way that it goes with trading. But it's about risk and reward, understanding your numbers, right? If you're taking 1 unit of risk for 2 units of reward, that means you have a positive expectancy with your trading. That's different. And this is why I really think that many of you, if you're going to try to trade, learn how to build bots. Get more algorithmic with your trading, get more more programmatic with your trading, so that you can be successful. Because I'm telling you, many of you are going to get wrecked. 76% of retail investors lose money. Right? Most of you are going to lose money, right? So I'm trying to save you from a life of misery. Trading is extremely unhealthy mentally. You know me, I come from a trading background. So, and I was a profitable trader. I still dibble and dabble, but mainly I've been focusing on crypto because the opportunity just is so great. But, standing in front of this computer screen for 8-10 hours a day, some days you don't even make money, because the way trading works is you probably make money. You'll probably make money 4 months out the year. The other 8 months is really just, staying above water and not blowing up your account, right? You have a lot of like back and forth if you just look at your flow of your P&L. So most days you're just breaking even. Like you may make $1,000 today, lose 500 tomorrow, lose 200 tomorrow, right? So maybe one day out the week that really makes your week. But again, a lot of you just don't know your numbers. Now, again, I'm not saying that you can't make money, because there are 24% of people who are probably making money. But when you see that most people lose money, please don't be stupid and try to gamble with your Bitcoin or your Ethereum. Go pick up a technical skill. Join My Tech Academy. Learn how to code. Learn how to program. Right? Be a real entrepreneur. Contribute to society. Build some things. Make some things. Right? Like if you look at crypto, the people who really make a lot of money are people who build things. Look at the people at Uniswap. The guy that hated Adams. Look at CZ with Binance. Look at Arthur Hayes with BitMEX. Look at Vitalik with Ethereum. Build something and make some money, right? We're so early. We are pre-1995 of the internet right now, right? We're on the same growth rate, but there's so much low-hanging fruit out here for those of you who want to go out here and start trying to really be an entrepreneur in this space. It makes so much money. easier, and you can actually have a real world skill that you could take with you anywhere in the world, right? So, I just really want to make sure that I drive that home to you. And we're going to launch in the academy this week, and I'm launching 100 days of code. That's what we're going to learn. Like just 100 days of just going hard, code, really putting more emphasis into the coding boot camp, because I really believe that for many of you, that's the way to go. And even if you want to get into trading, building your own bots is just the best way to go. And that's just a reality. Now this gets right here. This right here is Ethereum, right? The average transaction fee. The gas fees are insane right now with Ethereum. Back here during the DeFi hype in August, we saw a spike. All here, the average fee was around like $12. Back here, now we popped up to $17, the average fee. Excuse me. So the way that Ethereum basically works is that once you iterate through the actual smart contract, for each step you have to pay gas for each computational step that you take throughout the smart contract. And right now you're basically paying about $17.13. So that's pretty, 43 cents, excuse me. That's pretty expensive. And what's going to happen is as Ethereum's price begins to get higher and higher, as DeFi gets more popular, the gas fees are going to get insane. This is why we're migrating over to the Ethereum 2.0 blockchain, the beacon chain. This is where Polkadot, Matic, and Cosmos will shine. Same thing either with, Loop Ring. These layer 2 scaling solutions are going to shine. And this is where, when I was telling you guys before, you have to start thinking about, Cardano, Tezos, and Ethereum as a BMW, a Lexus, and a Range Rover. They're all nice cars. They're powerful cars. But you have to start thinking about what's going to fuel those cars. And that's how I look at Chainlink, right? I look at Chainlink as the fuel that's going to be able to feed data to these blockchains. And I look at Matic, and I look at Polkadot, and I look at Cosmos, and even Loop Ring as the layer 2 scaling solutions that's going to allow them to be able to get more throughput and not, clog up the networks. This is why when you're investing, you have to have some type of synergy in your investment, right? You can't be out here looking for the next so-and-so. You have to be looking at what is the utility behind this particular token, and what is it trying to solve? What problem, are these tokens trying to solve? And you're just starting to see, look, Chainlink's on a monster tier. It's at $14.45, right? You see Polkadot at $9.70 as we're talking right now. Bitcoin's at 33,869. Let's see, where's Cosmos at? Look at Aave. Aave, which is at $85. I've been telling you guys about Aave for a minute now. It's up $115. When you look at Synthetics, it was just trading at $7, $8. It's up $12.48. Where is Atom at? Right here, $5.92. Right here, it's the 30-year frame cryptocurrency. And I believe Matic is it's not even in the top 100 right now. Look at Loop Ring, just on a monster tier, up 174%. Right? So you have just some amazing projects right now, and I think that you need to make sure that you are paying attention and really educating yourself, because the gas fees will spike. And it's going to take a while to migrate to the Ethereum 2.0 chain. So that's what you're definitely going to see, just with the popularity of DeFi and et cetera. No, Cosmos is basically, it will allow more throughput, right? It's a bit like a layer 2 scaling solution, right? Ethereum can do about 15 transactions per second, I believe. So when you look at these other layer 2 scaling solutions, it just allows more throughput, right? More transactions per second. A VeChain, I have a bag of VeChain, right? But VeChain is trying to solve something different, right? VeChain is not trying to create more interoperability between blockchains and stuff like that. So it's different. Excuse me. Right. So what I want to do is I want to, get a little bit of laughs in right now, because this guy Nagabo is funny. I encourage you guys to go follow Nagabo. It's time to laugh. Get some laughs in with the Ripple Tards. We love to have a good time here. And just laugh. So go give Nagabo a follow. But let's listen to what he has to talk about. Mr. Hip Hop Vegan, no problem, man. I just want to do my best to try to onboard as many people into crypto as possible in a safe and healthy way, because this is our .com bubble. Many of us are going to get filthy rich. And the key to being successful in this space is being in the right community, being around the right people. And if you are part of My Tech Academy, come into the Slack group. There's over 100 of you who aren't even in the Slack group. And I don't understand why. If you go to the community tab, click the link, set up your Slack account, come into the Slack group, and thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. And that's why I just wanted to create a safe space that's affordable for everyone to get involved, so you can just learn the ins and outs, and we can basically collectively build together, because there's just so much wealth that's going to be created. Like, seriously, some people are going to go on and make $100-200 million in crypto. Some people, they've been in Chainlink since it was 40 cents, 20 cents. Like, they got insanely rich. And Chainlink's going to be a monster, absolute monster. Polkadot's going to be an absolute monster. Those two projects are just beast projects right there. Polkadot is so deep and just rich, and so many different things that it can do. I haven't even fully scratched the surface to the potential of a Polkadot. It's when you really start diving down this rabbit hole, man, it's like a kid with a new toy, like it being in a candy store. It's just so powerful what this stuff can do, man. And I encourage you, read the white papers, bounce ideas off of each other, get involved in the Discord groups, really just learn about the technology. Stay away from Ripple, stay away from garbage, stay away from these influencers who are just trying to sell you Lambos and foolishness. Get with real communities, get with real people that are really building and trying to learn something. So let's have a laugh a little bit, right? All right.
And what I'm going to do right now is pray. I pray for the success of cryptocurrency. I pray for the success of cryptocurrency. And I pray to the crypto gods right now that in order for there to be success in cryptocurrency, there are some cryptocurrencies that have to fall. There are some cryptocurrencies out there that must fall. XRP is one of those cryptocurrencies. Stellar is another one of those goddamn cryptocurrencies that gotta go. They gotta fall. So I'm praying right now for the fall of XRP. I'm praying that XRP get delisted from every goddamn exchange in the motherfucking world.
Tell him, Nagabo. Tell him.
I pray that XRP continues to dump.
Hallelujah.
Because Brad Garlinghouse, Chris Larson,
Tell him.
David Schwartz,
Tell him,
and Jeb McCaleb are some greedy motherfucking bastards.
Hallelujah.
And they deserve to be thrown in a fucking cage where they belong. These are animals. And they deserve to be in jail.
Yeah.
In a cage, locked in a fucking cage where they belong, because they some greedy fucking bastards. Greedy fucking bastards that these motherfuckers are.
Tell him, Naga.
And I pray these motherfuckers go to jail.
Yeah.
I pray that these motherfuckers become somebody's bitch in jail. I pray that these motherfuckers become prison strippers. Like when they make it rain on the strippers in the strip club with the dollars. Instead of making it rain with dollars, these motherfuckers gonna be in prison. And the prisoners are gonna make it rain on these motherfuckers with commissary. God damn it, they gonna be making it rain with fucking noodles. God damn it, oodles and noodles. They gonna be making it rain with oodles and noodles on these bitches. They're going to be making it rain with potato chips and shit, honey buns and shit. That's how they're going to make it rain on these bitches. And then when they through giving the prisoners table dances, I pray these motherfuckers break out the red Kool-Aid. Make these bitches wear that shit as lipstick. And then I pray they bust out the motherfucking grape jelly. Smear it right on their assholes and make these motherfuckers lick that grape jelly out of their fucking donut holes. Brad Garlinghouse, Jeb McCaleb, Chris Larson, David Schwartz, I pray you wind up in jail licking jelly out somebody's asshole. This is what I pray for you motherfuckers. Now, you motherfuckers that's in the XRP community, you're innocent victims in this. You don't know no better. Okay, and I hear a lot of you on Twitter say, oh, I can't wait. Yeah, dump some more so I can buy the dip. That's exactly what these motherfuckers want you to do. To buy the dip so they can dump on your motherfucking heads and continue to be motherfucking greedy. These motherfuckers gonna have to flee the country.
Oh man, you gotta love the crypto community, man. Go and give Nagabo a follow. Subscribe to his channel. He is absolutely hilarious, man. Yo, his videos are funny. He's absolutely funny. He's absolutely hilarious. I agree with everything that he just said. There are people in the community telling you to hold on. You are getting absolutely decimated right now. You are down over 90% right now. There is absolutely no reason why you need to be buying no dips, that you need to be hodling. You need to make sure that you are just being very, very smart with your money. So I'll take a few questions right now, look into some things. Yo, that dude is a natural comedian. Yes, fantasy hustlers. Nagabo is absolutely hilarious. I have another video that I'm going to play later on from him. Someone did like a mashup. Like they took one of Naga's like videos and they put it next to Brad Garlinghouse. I'm going to play that after I take a few questions. Just absolutely funny. Thank you for the donation. Appreciate it. He's hilarious. Hustle with patience. When do you think is going to be VeChain season? I got 200 worth. Seems to be a great project. I don't know exactly when, but I know alt season's coming up. I believe that once Ethereum finally breaks 1400 and starts pushing up to 1600, that's when you're going to start to see a lot of these cryptocurrency projects break out. The most important thing, like when I look at a VeChain, first of all, like year to date, VeChain's up 50% almost, right? So I mean, those gains are insane. Like when you look at VeChain, it's up 50% year to date. I mean, the year just started. It's up 16% in a day. So you could say VeChain season is kind of starting now. But yeah, guys, VeChain's a solid project. You have to think about 3 to 5 years from now. Will these projects be here? And that when I'm investing, like I'm not thinking about making a quick buck. I don't buy things because I think that I can make, a 20x in a week or whatever. Those things are cute. It's funny. But in reality, VeChain's a solid project, solid team. I see it being around for the next 3 to 5 years. To tell you exactly when, I don't know. But I would tell you that it's starting right now. That you got good gains in the project, right? Like, so, you're making good money in the project right now, and you're going to make solid gains. This is the project that's going to be adopted by a lot of Fortune 500 companies. It's a really, really good team, really solid project. So I would say that it's starting now. VeChain season is starting now because it has good gains, and it's going to continue over the next 3 to 5 years. So, someone asked about GRT. I started buying GRT at about 44 cents, dollar cost averaging. I purchased some more at 39. I'm looking to load up some more at 25 cents. Really, really good project. Now, the schedule as far as how they're going to distribute the token, over the next 6 months, they're going to dump a lot of the tokens into the market. So you may see price damper. I look at GRT as more of a long-term play, not a short-term play. But I really like the technology and what they're trying to do just in terms of trying to be able to decentralize as far as the databases and things of that nature is concerned. It's a really, really deep project, but I really believe that it's something that's important when you start thinking about, just being able to tap into, different APIs and things like that. So I think it's a solid project. But again, the token distribution, they're going to dilute the token over the next 6 months, meaning they're going to dump a lot into the marketplace. So just keep that in mind. But again, after 6 months to a year and they stop all of the dumping, it's a solid project. I look at holding this project for a very, very long time. To be quite honest with you, Edward Garcia, I've never really even looked at that. I should look at it and set up a portfolio. I was trying to set up a portfolio tracker in the academy, but it was just I was having trouble finding good data, APIs and teaching people how to use APIs and stuff like that. So that was one of the problems. I had to connect to it. But I've been working on something like that in the academy anyway. But I don't know what my percentage is of BTC to altcoins. I would honestly say that I probably have more altcoins than BTC. Honestly, I'm a huge bull in Ethereum. I believe long term that as more and more people become more educated in the technology, they're going to see that Bitcoin is limited in what it can do. And just in terms of the fact that it's not a Turing complete programming language, Bitcoin could be digital gold and that's great. But whichever protocol actually wins the protocol war in terms of Tezos, Cardano, Avalanche, or Ethereum, and you start thinking about the suite of protocols that makes up the internet, and you look at these protocols like money Legos, and you start thinking about all of the stuff that you can stack on top of that base layer protocol. So whoever wins that, whether it's Tezos, Cardano, or Ethereum or Avalanche, whoever can win that base layer, and then you stack all of those things on top of it, because that's what makes ETH so valuable, is that no matter what you build on top of it, they all have to use gas, right? And you have to pay those gas fees with Ether. So right now, Ethereum has a clear advantage in that space. I just think DeFi can do so much more. The programming language allows you to do so much more. And I really believe that altcoins are going to capture a large market share, right? Like when you look at Ethereum from the standpoint of just tokenizing assets and bringing assets onto the blockchain and looking at Ethereum like a gravity well that's going to suck in so many assets, it's just your thoughts as to where this can go. It's just insane. I mean, just think about it. The real estate market globally is a $260 trillion market. What do you think is going to happen to the price of Ethereum if we get to the point where we can tokenize 10% of the global real estate market? I mean, it's just insane. And then now we're moving to proof of stake, and then you start thinking about sharding the chain, and then you start thinking about Ethereum being like a global bond, like when you can stake. And you need 32 ETH to stake. That creates buying pressure underneath the marketplace because you need that 32 ETH. And then that's Ethereum, that's supply. That's not going to come back into the marketplace because if you're making passive income from being a validator, why would you sell? So it's so much that you can just do with Ethereum. Or for that, like I said before, whether it's Tezos, Cardano, or Avalanche that decides to catch up. I don't think that they can catch up at this point, but I wouldn't rule them out. But it's just good to see with that ecosystem. And I truly believe that the better bang for your buck is out of Bitcoin. A lot of people don't like to hear that because Bitcoin could be digital gold on top of Ethereum. There's more wrapped Bitcoin sitting on top of the Ethereum network than that's sitting in the Lightning network. Now, yes, with Rootstock and some other side chains, they're trying to bring something similar to DeFi onto Bitcoin. But, the scripting language that Bitcoin utilizes, it doesn't allow you to do anything robust besides colored coins and things like that, like multi-sig, transactions and stuff like that. But DeFi is big, man. There's some major players in DeFi. I went to a meetup, I think it was a year ago, and I really got a chance to just sit down, maybe a year and a half, and just see some of the tooling and the projects that people were putting together for ETH. I'm telling you, man, there's just a tsunami of intellectual capital that has to flow to ETH. And this is why I created my Tech Academy, just to get you guys, just get you in that ecosystem, get you thinking about programming and get you thinking about coding and just what you can do with dApps and stuff like that. It's going to be powerful. And this is why I know Chainlink's going to be big and Polkadot's going to be big, because I believe ETH is going to be big. And if ETH is going to be a multi-trillion-dollar asset, then how big will Chainlink be, right? Think about it. I easily could see Chainlink being worth 100 billion. People laugh at me when I say that. I see it. Data is one of the most powerful commodities in the world today. Data. Thank you for the donation, TDC LLC. What are your price predictions for ETH in 2021? My price prediction for ETH in 2021, 4,400. I see over $4,000, between 4,100 and 4,400 for Ethereum. And I've been talking about Ethereum since it was what's the name? Since it was $100 on this channel. I've been talking. I've owned ETH since it was $40. I've just been stacking more and more Ethereum. It's a power. The ecosystem is so powerful. It's so robust. That's why I've been struggling with the DeFi course, because I tried to do a PowerPoint and then I ended up at like 300-400 slides. I was like, that's just too many slides for a PowerPoint. So DeFi is just something that you just got to do hands-on. And that's how I'm going to do it. Because like in the other courses, like I'll go into the iPad. I write stuff out on the iPad, and then I'll do a little bit of PowerPoint. Like I'm not doing, like, DeFi is all hands-on, because you got to cover the stack. And there's just so many different things you can do with DeFi. You have to look at DeFi like the protocols that make up the internet, whether it's SMTP, whether it's, TCP, IP, HTTPS, like all of those protocols stacked up on top of each other makes up the internet. Remember, the internet's just an application running on those protocols. And that's what's going to happen with, the internet of money or the internet of things. It's going to be really, really powerful, right? So when you start thinking about like Web3 technology, it's powerful, man. I'm telling you, powerful, powerful stuff. Right, really, really powerful stuff that Ethereum is going to be able to do. I think you donated $2, but then you want to ask a question. How do you set up alerts for airdrops? I don't necessarily have alerts. I have a particular site that I use. I just can't think of it off the top of my head. If you're inside of the academy, I'll post something like that. I have a list of potential, because if you're in the academy, you should have got the airdrop from Uniswap, because I covered Uniswap in the Ethereum course. Many of you probably missed out on a 1-inch airdrop, because I spoke about like 2 days before it happened in our Q&A. But I have a list of potential like platforms, tokens that don't have tokens. There's potential protocols that don't have a token yet, that eventually there's rumored that they're going to eventually launch a token. So I'll put that list inside of the academy for everyone. And I'll even post something similar like that in the community section, like some resources you can use to know about like what coins are ICOing. They're about to come out of the ICO phase, the fundraising phase, et cetera, et cetera. I'll post something like that inside of the community section just on my YouTube channel. But I have a list of like up and coming projects that I believe are eventually going to create a token so that you can get this free money, right? Because it's coming. As the market gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you're just going to start to see more and more projects create their own token, right? So 1-inch was a no-brainer. I've been using 1-inch for a while. So hopefully a lot of you were able to get that. But I know many of you who follow me, you were able to get the, the Uniswap airdrop. That was pretty big. And now Uniswap's actually trading up like at $6. I think Uniswap's higher today than when they first launched their token. But I immediately sold my Uniswap for Ethereum, because I just believe that Ethereum's just, for me personally, I want to hold Ethereum. To be able to stake Ethereum, have your 32 ETH, it's a no-brainer. Ernesto is just, thanks for the donation. Great info. It seems like a fat crypto community. Yeah. That's the most important thing, man. Community in crypto. Staying away from the XRP community. Stay away from communities like that. They're just toxic. And they're full of a lot of trolls and robots. See, what you begin to start to see is how can you shrug off a chart like this? Like with good faith and conscience, how could you just How could you be down over 90% and shrug it off like it's nothing? Right? That's how you know that that's how you know that you're not really a part of a community of people who actually care about you or actually even want to, see you win. You're just part of a community that's just trying to price gouge you and make a buck off you. So that's the important thing. I like the engagement that my group gets. Like, I can go days and not post in the group and people will just be posting their own things. That's what I like to see. Like, talk to each other, build with each other. Because remember, the community is not about me. It's about you. It's your community. Right? People talking about making BISC purchases and stuff like that, using decentralized exchanges, using the technology. So many people talk about price. No one talks about like what the technology can do. And I promise you, like setting up a MetaMask wallet and, making some transactions and you start using decentralized exchanges, you start seeing stuff like, wow, like this is cool stuff, man. I like what Fighter Pilot said. XRP can't move without news. What do I think about Dogecoin? I don't like it or hate it. It's just there. It started out as a meme coin. It's just there. Like, it's not. Don't allow Elon Musk trolling to make you think that, Doge is like something he's considering seriously. Now, the community behind Doge, they have a robust community. They do meetups and everything. They have conferences. So, I mean, they have a community around it, but what's the utility of it? You see, there are a lot of cryptocurrencies that they have like just dead chains. Like, but you have to start asking yourself, like, what can they do? What's the product market fit? Like, when you look at Hex, no matter what you think about Richard Hart, just look at the game theory that's built into Hex. How you get rewarded for holding. Because the whole purpose of crypto is people buy it, they hold it, and they don't sell it. Right? So when you create game theory around that, right, that rewards holding, that makes sense. Because what think about it, when you're staking a coin, if you're using Zilliqa, if you're doing liquidity mining, whatever you may be doing, like, you're basically just holding your tokens, right? So to reward people for that, that's a product market fit that doesn't exist. That's utility. That's a use case, right? Time locked deposits matter, right? Like, time deposits matter. You're holding your money. It's like a CD. Powerful stuff. So the Hex project is, again, I don't own Hex, but I can see the game theory in that and how it's designed. It makes sense. It has utility. It has a product market fit. Like, when I look at Ethereum, it has a product market fit. Like, you're using it for something, right? When I see a Dogecoin, I say to myself, it works, but what does it do? Right? So it's like, it's just like, it's cool, but I just don't see, I don't see the use case for it, honestly. Right? And we're at a point where your crypto has to be able to do something. See, the ICO craze in 2017, that was all about just, write a white paper, copy someone's white paper. Like I told you, some of these Chinese cryptocurrencies, they were literally just copying, they were like taking people's LinkedIn profiles and like copying the profile word for word and just putting it next to a random person's head. So like, it'll have a team, but that team wasn't the people actually working on a project. And people were raising billions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars during the ICO craze for that. All you needed was a white paper and an idea and a marketing budget, and boom, you go to, Coin Market Cap or one of these websites and you start promoting it. But now we're to the point where your cryptocurrency has to be able to do something, right? You have to be able to, like, real world utility that people are going to want to adopt and use it and build with it and transact with it, or whatever the case may be. I covered that B-Hall inside of the Academy in terms of how you could buy cryptocurrencies like Polkadot. So. I'm fairly new and learn fast. Once I look at a channel and see 3 consecutive videos on XRP, that's a red flag. Yeah, red mag. There are a lot of people who, again, and this is another thing I try to tell like a lot of the students in the academy. We're so new, right? That you can corner a particular market for a cryptocurrency. So like there are people who they built an entire brand around XRP, right? Like their entire brand, their entire YouTube channel is about why XRP is going to take over the world. Well, start thinking about if you did that with Polkadot. Like Polkadot's a powerful project. It's in the top 10. So imagine if you just dedicated your whole time to learning about the tech and you just cover all of the news around Polkadot. Solid project. That's low. That's a business model right now that you can monetize. And it's a solid project, right? There are some people, they have a whole Twitter personality based around Chainlink. Some people, all they focus on is oracles and middleware. Other people, they focus on privacy coins. Like there's so many ways that you can build a brand in crypto because we're so new, we're so early, it's a blank canvas. You have to be able to think a little bit further though, right? You can't be a person who just wants to sit around and think that someone's going to give you an idea. You have to go out here and figure out a way to build a brand around whatever cryptocurrency project you want to get involved with. There's some people, all they talk about is ledgers all day long and different, hardware wallets and different wallets. Like you can build a channel around so many different topics and ideas in crypto, and just focus on monetizing that, right? But have some ethics and morality, and morals around what you're doing, because again, people are trusting you, which they shouldn't, but people do. So, I agree with you, right? When you see people with a YouTube channel and they have 3 or 4 videos about why XRP is the standard, while it's down 90% versus Bitcoin, that should be a major red flag to you, right? Because trust me when I tell you, if I was a part of the XRP community, I would be telling you, don't buy this dip. You do not know how long this may take to settle out with the SEC. Even if they do settle, we don't know how long this may take. So the opportunity on your cost on your money is just, the risk doesn't outweigh the reward, right? I mean, the reward doesn't outweigh the risk right now, what you're taking. You have better reward to risk ratios elsewhere. And that's just my personal opinion. You could be making more money in Bitcoin or Ethereum right now or any of these other cryptocurrencies than sitting here holding on to Ripple. People, Crypto said your hands are huge. People don't understand. Like they see me sitting here, and they think that I'm like a small guy. I'm actually 6'7", 255, maybe 60 pounds. I'm a really, really big person. I'm not small, but people tend to think that you're small because you're like sitting down. But I'm a big guy, and yes, I played basketball. I was actually pretty good at it. Red Max says they have a better chance at putting their money in a stable coin. Sergio MX says, before I found your channel, I bought XRP because I saw tons of videos about how XRP could make you rich. Again, that's a red flag too. Whenever you see people talking about Lambos and all of these different things, that's a major red flag. Crypto, because of the anonymous nature of it, and because it's so new and there's lack of a lot of oversight, it attracts some really just unscrupulous people, right? People that have very, very, low ethics. And you have to be careful with who you follow, because a lot of people, they're not in it for the technology. I can promise you that. A lot of people get into crypto, they're just in it to make a quick buck. And because it's a wild, wild west, you can make a lot of money very, very quickly. I promise you. You can get, a Sushi or a Yam or whoever to, give you some tokens up front to go out here and promote it. And you can pump the price, and it can 4, 5, 6x in a day and 20x in a week, and you can become a millionaire overnight. Seriously. The type of money that these influencers are getting paid to push a lot of this garbage on you, you think it's a joke, but I'm telling you, you could become a millionaire overnight. So because there's so much money involved in scheming people and defrauding people, this is how we get to places like this. This is how we are where we are right now. So, you have to just make sure that you are, doing your due diligence and making sure that you're educating yourself as to, who and what you're following. So. But with that being said, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. I just want to close out the video by saying every week, the Ripple community, they constantly keep moving the goalposts. They were saying that, oh, we didn't need the United States to do business. We could just move. Obviously, they need the US. They were saying Coinbase could list securities. That ended up not being true. I told you that the exchanges would start delisting it because people knew for years that Ripple was garbage, but you still could, trade it and make money. And we were there. Then they were saying, well, why would Grayscale still hold it? Right? Why would Grayscale buy more? Well, came out now, Grayscale has removed it from his digital large cap fund and sold it for Bitcoin and Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. I will continue to dance on Ripple's grave because I truly believe, like Nagabo said, that Ripple is holding the crypto community back. We need to purge garbage like Ripple out of the community so that we can really, flourish and go on and do bigger and better things. This is an exciting industry to be in. It's so, cutting edge. It's brand new. It's fresh. It's a blank canvas, and you have the ability to paint whatever you want to paint. And you just got to, take some time out to educate yourself, man. And this is why I created my Tech Academy. And I'm going to always plug my academy because I believe in what I've built. I believe in the work that I've put in, and I created a solid project and a product that can actually teach you. It's affordable. It's doable for most people. And again, we focus on investing in the technology, focus on, eventually becoming an entrepreneur, trying to build different things in crypto. We have a free 7-day trial. You're welcome to try it out for free for 7 days. And if you like it, you can stick around. But just understand that we are going through the 4th industrial revolution. Digital money is here to stay. Digital payments are here to stay. And you need to make sure that you are learning how to harness the power of this technology so that you could, again, thrive. Because so many people right now have laughed at crypto or are laughing at it. They don't believe in it. They don't see the value. They don't see the utility. And they have to come eventually and pump our bags. We see JP Morgan getting to the party late. PayPal getting to the party late. Now we're starting to see all this institutional money flow to Bitcoin. It's only a matter of time before that institutional money starts flowing to Bitcoin, but then starts trickling down to Ethereum and all of these other different cryptocurrency projects. So that's where we are right now. And it's a beautiful time to just be involved. And I'll just close it out like this. This chart tells you all you need to know. The opportunity cost, on Ripple right now, you're down over 90% to Bitcoin. So, it's laughable at this point. Thank you to everyone that donated to the channel tonight. I appreciate it. Please do me a favor, like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, set the notifications to all. Make sure that you join my mailing list so that you could be notified via email when I'm going to be live. Follow me on Instagram. I chop these videos up and put bite sizes up on Instagram for those of you who don't want to watch the whole hour and 33 minutes. And also a link to join my Tech Academy is in the description below. Have a blessed and beautiful night, and may your bags continue to pump.